Hey, oh, hey, everybody. I'm sorry, Jason was yelling at me at the same time. What, babe?
It disconnects again. Just get your auxiliary wire. You know.
I got it.
Okay.
I just went live.
All right.
So you can leave it open.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Hi. I've got a new computer thanks to some God's Army. I got a new computer and it's huge. This thing is like in my lap right now. We had to set up speakers.
And it's fast.
And it's fast. It's made for creators. Lord, I hope it's made for ADHD creators. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for being patient. As always, even though I planned it, I scheduled a live like Wednesday. Here it is, and down to the wire. That's how we roll. That's how I roll. And y'all are just along for the ride. I guess I'm entertaining. I don't know. It's a shit show. But hey, how you doing? Well, let me go up. I'm so grateful for this computer. I just now I need to learn how to use it. And try not to muck it up like I did. I bombarded my other one with the Vallow Daybell case. So it's like, what? It's confused like me. Leanne Ferguson, Jennifer, thank you guys for being here. Sanga, VC, Door Opinion, Kathy's backstage doing what she does. Let me scroll. Jean Panek, how you doing? T.S. Jackson, Tom Vaughn, God's Army. Gloria Fritz, how are you doing, Gloria? This thing, I can see everything. Oh my goodness. It's made for old people, blind old people. I'm looking. Donna Donald, good to see you here. Zero. Patricia Faulkner, you're from Canada. Glad to have you. Trace on the case. Thank you, Trace. And Beach Bum. That's the other one. Ron Hensley. Yeah, you might have to shut the door, babe, if you're going to be right there. Please. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Love you.
Love you, babe.
Oh, wow, Bren. Thank you. I'm still way up here in the comments, just trying to welcome everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Are y'all ready for Christmas? Are y'all ready for Christmas, right? Wow. It always sneaks up on me. Shocker, huh? No. Always. Well, y'all are just, I was late. I had to postpone the live. Sorry. Just due to me and my technical issues. Like I had set up, I found a way, right? Finally, to put links in my Canva presentation, just to have it in one spot, all my links that I'm going to use, right? And I finally figured that out. And I do this all from my mobile. And because I knew this computer was coming in, the FedEx driver came yesterday. And I saw it on my security camera, right? And I was like, okay, good. Jason had left. He left the front door open because we were waiting on FedEx guy or girl. Don't know. And so I see the FedEx truck pull in. I'm like, okay. So I jolted into action, like literally that's not me normally. But I jumped into my little Ugg boots. They're ugly. Mom's like, they're ugly. I'm like, they're Ugg boots. They're warm. That's all that they're meant to do. But anyways, so big girl can move. That's all I can say. Because I got to the front door, and I got there and they looked like they were backing up into the driveway, and then they hauled ace. I was like, what the hell? So I went outside and I raked and stuff, and I was thinking, well, maybe they just, maybe they're going to make beat the block or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's. I don't know. Anyway, so I was raking, and I was just like, okay. So, anyways, they did not deliver, and they said they did, or they tried to, and I was like, yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they did not. And so, anyways, after a few phone calls, but anyway, so they came and delivered it today. So, you know, Jason set it up, and it's way different. It's not a HP. So, of course, they're not sponsored, but, they're welcome. This is a Dell, and it's a hit. It's moving and grooving. So that's awesome. So shame on you delivery drivers who say y'all tried to deliver and then did not. Because I saw you. You didn't even stop. The wheels just kept turning. God's watching you. Shame on you. Oh, wow. See, that's what I'm scared of. Wow. I've had 2 different FedEx packages. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh wow. I mean, I can't believe the audacity of people. Like, just the level of actually, that's why we're here. Is because people are jerks. And they don't think about anybody but themselves, right? Just stopping by to say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Leanne. It's good to see you. Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry Queer. How you doing? And Tina Reddington. Your niece keeps texting me. Tell her we're busy. No, I'm just kidding. You have had 2 bad FedEx deliveries in 1 week, right? Well, the driver today, he was really nice. I was just as fast as I was yesterday. And I was like, yeah, utilize that horseshoe driveway. It's cool. Yeah, not all delivery people are. No. It's just like customer service has, in my opinion, since the really, I mean, since before that, but since the coronavirus, for sure, it's just like plummeted. I'm just like, what? Who were you raised by? Some savages? Anybody at all? I grew up behind a counter. My grandparents owned a mom and pop store here in Lake Charles for like 50 years. And I was raised behind the counter. And so it was always short conversation, fast, and you always, not the customer's always right, but you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That kind of mentality is what I was raised with. You don't want to come off as being, you just don't, you're there to just, check them out at the register and get them on their merry little way. They don't always want to sit and visit, and they don't always, it just depends. So, it's just different. That's how I was raised. And that's why I'm way better at like short conversation than I am like going into, which I love deep conversation. I do. I love talking about philosophy and things like that. Just not really structured, like I just beat to my own drum. That's how I am. Hi, just me. Hi, Kimberly Mack. I'm a retired USPS, United States Postal Service. Not all delivery people are like that. Exactly. Right now, I have an issue with a delivery and it makes me mad. Right? That's true. I mean, and yeah, that's ignorant to say that everybody's the same. It's like saying Chad and Lori are and were active members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but that doesn't categorize the entire. It doesn't make them all bad people. That's silly to say or to think. So anyways, this is so huge. I feel like I'm sitting in your lap or y'all are sitting in my lap, one of the two, and I'm not Santa Claus. But anyways, I don't know. I was just poking around, and ever since Emma and I can't name them all. Emma, Garth, Leah, Mark, and Seth. Those are Chad Daybell and Tammy Daybell's children, the siblings. They're older, they're all old enough to have children. Some of them do. Chad's a grandfather. Tammy was a grandmother. I'm sure she was loving it. And that got taken away, of course, That's true, Kimberly. Oh, that's true. Since Corona, all delivery options are exploded and overloaded. This is true. That is why, in a lot of ways, the coronavirus, and I mean, it's a silver lining for me in my experience. Through this experience, it has, made court hearings available via Zoom, right? And so I got to stay connected with the case. Because of the coronavirus, kind of pushed everything and to that I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it pushed it there. And it made things like that available, whereas they weren't really, it was kind of they have them on Zoom, but it wasn't a thing. It taught me how to learn Zoom, which has way too many bells and whistles. Don't give me options, because I'm like, wait, what? Taught me how to stream, and to go live like this. And it's really helped me to connect with you guys. And we were all home and social distancing and stuff. So this is just one of those things that I'm grateful for in such a terrible situation, a terrible thing that's happened to the world. So, hey, Harley 62. Okay, that's what I do. I listen, and then if it catches my attention, usually I'm like, wait, what? And then I rewind. What'd they say? But it's good to see you. I've been on the home shopper. You've been an at-home shopper for as long as it's been available, but I dislike leaving my house unless I have to. I'm right there with you on that. And I mean, the coronavirus, and I hate to say this too, but I was like, this is kind of who I've been my entire life. I'm social, but in doses, Awesome, Allison. Oh, that's awesome. That's a very good quality. Got my merch, love my warm long sleeve shirts. Yay. Thank you. Hey, Crocheting Bammy. You're late, Crocheting Bammy. You're so late. You're in trouble. I was late too. Twice. Try and do that. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Good to see you here. Gina Bertozzi. Hello from North Carolina. Northern California. How are you doing? Sorry. Okay. So I had noticed, not noticed, but it's like ever since Chad Daybell's kids came out on I forget what it was, but anyways, they came out with the whole, my dad was set up basically. He was deceived in the worst way, and it was like an emotional relationship with Lori, and I was just like, okay, no, I don't know, just do your research. It's there for the finding. Just go look for it, kids or adults. And your mom, Tammy, your mom, she needs a voice, in my opinion. That's just me. I'm not telling you how to grieve. This is me talking to Chad's kids. I'm not telling you how to grieve. But your mom, she was buried. And then they don't just throw charges on 48 hours. Thank you, Kathy Gregg. Yeah. Your mom was buried. Tammy was buried. And then all this stuff was happening between Chad and Lori behind everybody's backs, because that's what cheaters do. Liar's gonna lie, cheater's gonna cheat, and I guess killers are gonna kill. It's kind of their thing. Prepper's gonna prep. I have the whole thing. So it just, when they said their dad needed an advocate, their dad needed a voice, I was just like, what? Okay. I mean, I understand. I try to understand. I don't know what it's like, but I do my best to put myself in that position. What would I do? And I definitely condoning would not be part of it. I would never condone my father killing my mother. But I really feel like I could say I would be torn. Just just putting it out there. Like if I were them, I would feel torn. I would feel divided, but I would be angry. I'd be hurt, and I would want to know the truth for sure. I would want to know the truth, not only for myself, but for my mom and my dad, right? So that to me just it throws that's how I feel, right? Of course, I'm not living their life. I don't know what that is like. I know that it's been a long journey for them and looks like it's gonna be a really, really longer one for them. Just like Colby, I don't know what it's like for him, with all the negative. I mean, there's not usually nice comments from people. I've never seen one, I don't think. For Chad and Lori, they did what they did. They made their decision a long time ago. They conspired together. That's what they did with other people. They got other people allegedly. Everything I say in this live stream is alleged. It's my opinion. But anyways, it's just it blows my mind as far as the advocacy that Tammy does not get. Yeah, she just, and I mean, just think about this. Think about this. had had me and Kathy were talking about this last night, and she brought this up. So this is Kathy's claim, or she said this and brought it into my realm. She said that I should never try to do stuff like that because then I forget what I was saying. Had it not been for Mom and Larry sounding the alarm, because that was a weird period between when my uncle was murdered, allegedly murdered. No, he was whatever. It's all alleged, okay? I mean, just knowing that, like, I knew right when I heard that Uncle Charles was shot. I knew. I didn't question it. There was no question about it. I was like, oh my! I flew into a rage, and I'm not really. I mean, I can get angry just like the next person, but I'm not normally a person that just exhibits rage, right? So, but I mean, I was just like, oh my God, they killed him. They murdered him. I didn't say murder, but I was just, oh my God. I know that what we had learned from the news, from Googling, Larry Googled it. And, Cole had called my mom. And my mom, her and my daughter had just left the shop where we were at their office building shop. And they had just drove away. Her and my mom and my daughter drove away to go get their nails done. And I just see my mom's vehicle coming back in like a wild banshee. I was like, oh crap, I froze because that's what I do. And I was like, something's wrong. What's going on? And I see both doors open on the vehicle. It's just threw it into park, and she's on the phone. And I think Ashlyn, my daughter, told me, that she said, Uncle Charles is dead. They shot him. And I was like, what? I mean, I froze, but just with what was going on, with what I was hearing, trying to register everything, it was just, I was mad. I was in a rage. I was pissed. I mean, I threw a fit. I threw a little tantrum like I was 2, but with cuss words. Very, very, very strong choice cuss words. Yeah. And so that period between there and when the case, when Tylee and JJ went missing, and it was oh my gosh, get your words, public, very easy word. When it went public, it's like you finally got help. It's like people were finally hearing what you had been knowing for 6 months. For 6 months, I remember my parents, they get like free comps and stuff like that at the hotel and casino here in my town. And every other month, get one from the salon there. And so I had met my mom. She offered me the comp. I was like, sure, yeah, I'll get my hair done, And hi, Carla, how you doing? And so I met my mom, and Larry was there too, but he was in the casino. My mom came and met me at the spa. And this was, as I tell you, you'll figure out when in the timeline that is. And so she met me at the salon. And so the beautician doing my hair, she was like, holy crap, just listening to me and mom's conversation, right? It's crazy. It's a crazy, very crazy. And so we were dealing with that crazy alone, basically. Trying to put things together, And so mom said something. I guess I forget what it was. It's been over 4 years now, That's a hot minute ago. So I don't really know how it came about, but basically we were trying to get Uncle Charles's ashes from the mortuary or whatever, or from whomever, wherever. We needed to get the hi Stephanie, good. Glad to have you here. Thank you. I'm sorry. That's me. I have this big of an attention span, y'all. It sucks. I hate it. I wish there was something that would fix that, because I would do it in a minute, a heartbeat. So go back to there. Trying to get my uncle's ashes, right? And so I'm like, well, just why won't she come? I was like, tell her to come. Come on to Louisiana, girl. Come to the swamp. Because like, oh my God. Oh, if she'd have showed up, no, she wouldn't have left. That's all I'm saying. Maybe, allegedly. I don't think like that. But oh my God, talk about the rage was going on, Anyways, so I was like, and I told mom, I said, invite Lori. And mom was like, I'm not inviting her. I was like, invite her. It's going to be text. It's going to be, mom, they're in that situation where you're kind of you are bidding with the devil. You're bidding with Satan herself, and your grandson is over there. My nephew is JJ. He's my nephew, my parents' grandson. And you can't really just go show up over there, and just say, I'm hauling ass with him. It's called kidnapping. As you saw we see how Charles did with the cops, reported, he did all the things that you're supposed to do. He reported it to his ecclesiastical leaders, his bishop, Gabe Bonilla. It's a whole nother story, He did all the things that you're supposed to do that I teach my kids to do. Don't be scared of cops, I've seen parents villainize police officers and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's like saying all cops are great or all cops are not great. That's very black and white, right? There's good and there's bad, just like with everything in life. And he did everything you're supposed to do. You should be able to go to police. You should be able to get, a mental evaluation done and not have the police give so many ways for Lori to get out of it. Who the hell does that? And then how the hell do you sleep at night is what I want to know. But then again, all these people in their circle, and they don't have a conscience, in my opinion. That's just me. That's from experience. That's from watching. That's like, what the hell? What's wrong with these people? It don't exist. And then, there's Lori, who she don't have a conscience, obviously. And so you're dealing with somebody who is, like my uncle said, nonsensical. She makes no damn sense. She's nonsensical. Perfect word. So you already know that she offed my uncle. And so my mom knows that this woman allegedly murdered her brother and has her grandson. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just to go back, just to talk about it, to go back there, it was just helpless, a feeling of helplessness, because you know what you need to do, but how do you do that within the legal parameters of the law? So, and then she was constantly evading and moving and shifting and shuffling and ignoring and just whatever Lori wants to do. And this whole time she's, with however many burner phones, and she didn't need a burner phone at that point, she got rid of one of the problems. One of the things standing in the way of her mission or whatever was Uncle Charles. And I think that's how they dealt with who came next, who was the next victim, who was the next victim, who was the next victim, and so on and so forth, until, thank God, that Lori was finally arrested. I still was on edge whenever Chad was free. I was like, okay, there's half the problem, because then there's this whole cult thing going on. And you're like, okay, well, but that means more people. And so you're like, well, I've been here many nights where I'd have my kids in bed, I'd go outside, and I would break down boxes and I would burn them in a burn barrel. And that was just my reflection time. Like, I would just sit there and just kind of take out my anger, my frustrations and stuff like that on burning stuff. I would look into the barrel, and I remember thinking, oh my God, she's going to be hot, like when she goes to hell, things like that. And so if a slow car would pass by, I'd be like, oh, okay. What are they doing? Why are they driving so slow? That's what it was like. It was scary, uncertain. You don't know who wishes harm on you or your family, and yet they're being plucked off in real life. Like, okay, my uncle's not here. Okay, the kids are missing. Okay, there's this alleged cult. Okay, who is it? What about the rest of them? I've said it so many times, because you don't know who these people are. And Chad and Lori, and there's people, David Koresh, there's Charles Manson, there's all these cult leaders that you know of. You don't know what they're capable of, but they are doing and murdering and harming people in the name of their religion, in the name of their belief, right? And I did not know what I know now. Oh my God, I know. I've learned so many things, and I mean, this is just the beginning, really. So back to my story, though, about me and Mom at the casino, or the hotel and resort spa, where they were doing my hair. And she met me there, and I was like, invite her. And she was like, I don't want her to come. And I was like, she ain't gonna come. Trust me, she will not show up. But it's good that it's documented, right? So I remember once my hair was done, she was like, "Come on, come to the casino." And I hate the casino. I lose money there. And so I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. Um, but we were talking, and so she was texting at that time, and just anyways, we were just kind of bouncing things off each other. And so I'm glad that that my mom, took my advice on that, or just we were able to talk it out, and maybe it confirmed something that, she didn't want to invite Lori. I know, right? Who would want Lori to show up at a memorial service that we were holding, that the Vallow side of the family was holding here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where he's from, with family and friends and people that he worked with. And this is like August 3rd, I want to say, is when we had his celebration of life. And we had it at the Lake Charles Civic Center, which is kind of crazy because usually you can't book, it's a room. Anyways. So I don't know, just to get his remains over here, that was an act of Congress already. And then it was a lot. There's a lot. If she would have came, things would have turned out different from that point. Or had we known what we know now, look with this lens, yes, it's easy to point out all the things. Oh, I should have done this, but you didn't know what you were working with. So that's a handicap. It's a blinder. You don't even know what you're dealing with, how many people you're dealing with. And then I see my uncle and all these in the body cam footage and everything where he is trying to explain someone else is crazy. She's not crazy. I don't know how many times any of us have all said that. And I'm getting that proof, and it's compelling, guys. It's compelling. She's not crazy. And that's I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, to me, it's good news because it confirms what we're already saying and feeling. That's how we feel. Lori's not crazy. And I've been I've been researching, I've been investigating, I've been doing my own soul search, even, just learning more about the religion, learning about how they believe, how they think, how they feel. And this doesn't, you don't apply that to everybody. That doesn't mean every Latter-day Saint thinks this way. I don't think that. So just know that, please. But these are the people that I'm dealing with. These are the people that have removed people from my life. Oh, thank you, Fish Face 123 is so I'm watching a little behind the rest of y'all's. Hope your Christmas is full of peace and love. Thank you so much. And I hope yours is too. I do. Thank you. I have the comments turned away right now so I can think. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Always. So yeah, this is affecting my family in real time. And you don't know what to do. You're helpless. That's how I felt. I didn't know what to do. All the way over here, what can I do? Everybody wants to help, right? That's who I am. I like to help. But it was just so big. It was so much bigger than me. And it still is. It's huge. And it's still intimidating, but it's just like I don't care. They don't. After finding the kids the way that we did, and just knowing, and then along the way you're learning. Thank you to Ladies and a Ghost. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I can see everything so huge now. But so where was that? Learning about, oh yeah, the way the things happened. We learned that Tammy Daybell had died, and then we learned that they were exhuming her body. And I've got that on my little list too. My little, little tiny list to research further into. Like, I know that when somebody goes on property, to have a search warrant for someone's property, you have got to know without a, I mean, just you've got to really know or have a probable cause of why to enter that property, to go onto that property. Like, just to get the warrant, that's big to do. Okay, I didn't realize that until I go back. I go back and I watch things. I re-listen to things with what I know now versus what I knew then, which was nothing. I knew nothing then. I mean, I was just like, wait, what are they saying? What does that mean? You know. Um, so I always go back and I revisit things. They just get my mind going back to there. Even my feelings. You know, just different things. So that was from an interview that Nate Eaton did with a kind of like Joe Scott Morgan, but I don't know her name. Anyways, and she said that, and I was like, wow, okay. So I'm thinking now, and it's on my list to do, to Google that on up, right? Is what would it take for a search warrant, or to get a search warrant, to gain a search warrant to exhume a body in Utah? I mean, if it's a big to do to get um, a search warrant to go into somebody's property, I can't imagine the probable cause it would take to get a body exhumed. Holy crap. You know, like, you've got to kind of know something, you know? You've got to know something. And so just even reading old news articles from when they were in Hawaii, and that's when all you great, wonderful people came into my life and into this, and I hate to share it, but you know, this horrible, evil realm of evil. I don't even know what to say. Just horrible, murderous people. That's when you came into the picture because their stories went public. And that's when I felt like, okay, you know, just help was on its way. Oh my God, thank you. You know, like, we're going to get somewhere. We're going to find the kids. Although my intuition, you know, I just tried to stay hopeful. Although I didn't, my gut instinct, my gut intuition was like, something's wrong. They're not alive, you know. But you do anything and everything. You don't want to lose hope ever. And you don't want to spread that either. You know, you're not like, you know, they're probably dead. Okay, so give up. You know, that's not how this works. You know, you think that, but there's that part in us that you're like, well, maybe they are in a freaking shelter or a doomsday bunker somewhere. I don't know. Worse things have happened, you know, or better things have happened. You know, there's that. So all these things are going on, and it's a lot. And then you start hearing from the Cox family, and there's other relatives outside of our family, you know, who are saying this and bringing forth what they know about everything. And each little bit, each person involved or that knows Chad or Lori from any way you look at it, they shed a light on things for me. That's just my opinion. It helps me fill in a lot of pieces that were missing. And anyways, I'm grateful for that. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to hear it or whatever, you know, but it's good to know these things. Anyways, so, you know, I can't imagine being a Daybell sibling and knowing that my mom had gotten exhumed. At that point, she had just died. She just died. And I don't know who all was there. Only Chad and his God know where Chad was. Only Tammy knows what happened, and she's not here. nobody else knows, right? um, and that's, that's for the prosecutors to present, and that is for the defense team to defend. That's their job. It's above my pay grade and my education level. So, um, I just, whenever the 48 hours special came out about the Daybell siblings saying that Chad was framed, you're just like, really now? I would love to hear about this, like what? Okay. Deny, deny, deny. That is a pattern that I see with all these people. No accountability, none whatsoever, no conscience. There's not one. They're only here to save their own asses. That's, I said it, you know. I'm just stating the obvious. They're shitty people. And obviously don't see it the way that I see it. They're not on the receiving end of this. Anyways, that's a whole other story there. But it makes me like like really stutter, because I can't believe the audacity of the people around them. Zalema, Melanie Gibb, Melanie Pulowski, Julie Clements, Christina Atwood, Serena Sharp, Audrey Baratero, all these shitty people. I said it, you're shitty. You are shitty people. How dare you? Shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it were your kids or your grandkids, or your niece or your nephew, your cousin, whatever, if it was your family, I don't think they can. I don't think they have that capability. And it is strong. Yes, it is, Leanne. It is strong with these folks. But it is a pattern. It's the same pattern that you see with Chad and Lori. They're over there in freaking Hawaii, and just like nothing ever freaking happened. Just, if we don't look at it, if we don't acknowledge it, then it don't exist. They were just living their best Hawaiian lives while we were in turmoil and chaos and fear. That's terroristic behavior. That is a terrorist, in my opinion, because that is hell. That is hell for anybody to ever have to experience. It's terrifying. You're scared to death, literally scared to death. Then I find out that my mom is a zombie. And that, good God, I'm just plucking them off, right? Your family's disappearing. They're dead. And it's just nuts. So there's all that. Anyways, so since I don't have it figured out yet on how to do it with this new computer, I don't have everything downloaded and all that stuff. So we're just going to go with my handy dandy phone and my speaker, or playing through. Hopefully it's still connected. I think so. You would tell me, Kathy, if you couldn't hear me, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to, and this is me reading the infamous Reddit email. That thing, telling you, it's on to some good stuff. But, I don't have it uploaded to this. So I just repeat it all the time. Like it's a code that you have to decode. And that's what I do. I spend my entire life, I swear, day in and day out. I do this, and I investigate, I research, I read, I educate myself, I look for answers, because nobody's giving them. Nobody is just like, here you go. Here, this is why, and this is this, and okay, that's not how this works, not for me. You have to find them because we're never good. I don't, even if Chad and Lori, if either one or both took the stand, I wouldn't trust a damn thing that comes out their mouth. I don't want to hear it. First off, like you had your chance. You're done, in my opinion. Nothing they say would make a damn difference in my opinion, in my life, my mind. I don't want to hear nothing they have to say. So there's that. Because they're liars. They are murderers. Alleged murderers. They, anyways, it's for a jury to find or to figure out. That's not my job. I'm not a judge, but I know. So, anyways, let me just play this and I'll read some comments while this plays. But bad thing is, I'm gonna have to upload it because it's me reading it, but I'm throwing things in there where this means this means that. It gives a whole nother perspective. It really does. Daybell and Lori Vallow, they met technically September 23rd, 2018 through Jason Mao at Temple. Chad was told around that time by one of the three Nephites. Okay. I believe that the three Nephites are... I know you can't really see it. This sucks. The first presidency. That's just me. But I don't know yet. Mathoni? And Mathoni, one of the three Nephites' name was Mathoni. And it says, so I Googled it. I Googled that on up, like Mike Stroud says. What are the three Nephites' names? And this is from www.ldsliving.com. And it came to pass that on the morrow, tomorrow, when the multitude was gathered together, behold, Nephi and his brother, whom he raised from the dead, whose name was Timothy, and also his son, whose name was Jonas, and also Mathoni. And then they name a bunch of other people. Anyways, so there's that. And I have my idea of who Mathoni is, but that's not this live stream. That a special woman would come into his life, November 2018, together at this point at the Mesa, preparing a people event time. Chad and Lori are still to each other in Temple, where they travel to another upper room, and Moroni gave Lori to Chad. The Savior was there. Moroni and Chad have been married to Lori in many other probations. Lori is their favorite spouse. Lori has been on 21 planets. I was just kidding. Lori has been on 21 planets and Chad 31. Once he was a Holy Ghost. Holy shit. Chad 5 times on this earth, and Lori has been 4. Chad makes a portal in Lori's closet so she can visit him. Okay. Chad makes... Let me keep going. Oh my God. At this time, Chad told Melanie he has no relationship or interest in Julie Rowe. He had also previously said he didn't want anything to do with Suzanne Freeman. Lori and Chad believed they were in charge of gathering the couples for the 144,000. Now, I had watched, I don't know if my mic's coming. The other day, I was like, okay, you can't just talk over it. The other day, I had watched something with my mom and my dad in it. And what was that? It was, ABC. I don't know what show it was. They were all running together at this point. But my mom, she was like she explained to her, what she thought the 144,000's job, or what Lori was saying, the 144,000's job was to do. So when I listened to it, I was like, no, that's not what, I don't think so. That's just what or maybe her interpretation was of it at that time. And so this was a couple years ago now, right? Yeah. The views and opinions of Chad and Lori are so far removed from LDS doctrine and beliefs. And yeah. Again, that's who we're dealing with, right? Chad and Lori. But I'm looking at it through their lens. I'm trying to look at it through their lens. So it's not to be offensive. it's offensive to me that my family's murdered. That's offensive to me. So this isn't to, this is just for understanding. That's all. Please don't take it that way. And so, um, because they were active Latter Day Saints, I don't know if Lori is still, because hers hasn't been leaked yet, but Chad's was leaked. You know, just saying. And that's the only way we know, because they don't disclose that, you know, excommunications and stuff. So, but Chad was an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saint when all the murders occurred, for sure. He was an active, tithing, faithful Latter Day Saint. That's why I don't think that they have their own cult. I don't think so. So now, of course, walk that back a little bit and go with their lens. Apply their lens. Like, I have to check everything at the door. I have to just, I'm like, no, that don't make sense. But then I have to check everything that I know is right and wrong. Check it at the door, because this is Chad and Lori. This isn't a normal thinking person, you know. Irrational, there's no rational. They're not rational whatsoever. Anyways. So, it's still a code that I have to decode, you know. I'm following my intuition on this. I have since this happened. And I want to be wrong. I would prefer somebody say, "Nope, you're wrong." You know, and this is why. This is how. But I haven't gotten that. Nor have I gotten help either, you know, to say, "Oh, okay, welcome on in." People aren't really inviting. um not in this situation, you know. Birds of a feather tend to flock together. And I'm an outsider as far as that, you know, as far as that perspective of people, I guess. I don't know. They're not like, "Hey, you know, here, let me help you understand that," or "Help me, you know, let's talk about this. Let's discuss this. How are you getting to that?" And I'll be like, "Well, how are you getting to this?" You know, that's what getting comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. Right? Right. And it sucks. It is very uncomfortable. And again, it's like another thing I want to high five Chad and Lori both in the head and say, "Thank you. Thank you," you know, because nobody wants to do this. I don't. But the victims deserve this. They were silenced. It's not fair, and it sucks. I'm here. I'm advocating for them. I want the story. That's what's going to tell their story. Tylee, Charles, JJ, Tammy, and Joe. This story is going to tell their story. Like, I can't. I'm not here to tell their story. I'm just here to pull it. I'm just here to explore. I'm here to investigate and see where their story is, where their voices are being muted even more. That pisses me off. Let it come to the light, whatever it is, because they've already been unearthed from Chad Daybell's property. That's one of the main things in this whole thing. Where I come from in Louisiana, it's oh, I have a video, Allison, of me reading it. I couldn't get it all in one. Everything. I mean, because I was like, "Oh my God," you know, the Reddit email, infamous Reddit email, is freaking weird. You're just like, I knew about it. I remember before Nate Eaton came out with Melanie Gibbs interviews, he kind of gave a little, "Hey, you know, just," but we didn't make sense of it. I couldn't make sense of it. You know, I was like, "I don't even know what this means." What? It was like a code. You know, it still is. And I'm decoding. And I really wish I could be more open here, but it's not really that. It's not easy to talk about. I can, but I'm piss a whole lot of people off, you know? And I don't want to hurt anybody. That's not my job here. That's not my intent. My intent is for the victim stories to be told without somebody or people or anybody navigating it or deterring or fitting their narrative. I don't want nobody to narrate the story for them. I mean, do they get that much? I mean, it's not like whenever Chad and Lori, if and when they're found guilty, it's not like my family just says, and comes back to life. That's not how this works. You know, this is a burden that I have to carry. That's the truth of the matter. I have to carry this burden for the rest of my life. And I chose to find out on my own. That's the way that I've dealt with this. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong for dealing with this type of thing. Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot for one person. It's a lot for one family. It's a lot for a community. It's a lot for this world, They took a lot. They took people that we loved out of this world. Why? Because they're assholes. That's why. And they don't care about anybody but themselves. It's just going to be a shit show. It's going to be that. It's been that. But it reminds me of when you go to the zoo and there's monkeys that throw poo at each other. That's what it reminds me of. Swear to God. So anyways, and it's just going to be what it's going to be, I don't gain anything from, trying to figure this out. Just want their stories to be told. But, so, anyways, I forget where I was in the damn. Didn't want anything to do with Suzanne Freeman. Lori and Chad believe they were in charge of gathering the couple for the 144,000. And so I watched that last night, and of my mom explaining. I think, I don't even remember the reporter's name or anyways, 2020, I want to say, and she was like, well, Lori was there to gather the 144,000 for the end of the world, July 22nd, 2020, which I know where that date came from. Just haven't been able to share it here yet. It's like I want to do this right, I don't want to rush anything, because I want the full story to be told. And so, I mean, I know where they got that date. I know from doing my own research, from researching all the people that were involved in their circle, in their orbit. This is their world. These are the people they affiliate with. What are these people saying? It's boring and it's mind numbing. And I'm just like, my mom was like, you deserve a freaking Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm like, I do it so you don't have to. That's how I look at it. I do it for them. I do it for the victims. That's why I do what I do. If they can be murdered and die the way that they did, then I can get over myself just a little bit and put in the work, put in the time, because that's all it needs. That's all they that's all they need. That's all they get. And I think they deserve that and more, That's just me. Again, even finding out the truth, that doesn't bring them back either. It does not. But where are all the places in all of this? You have to find everywhere that failed them, not just with the police, not just with us, not just with anybody around in their world. As far as the victims, it just, all these things factor in. And I want to be able to pinpoint everything and say here, 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 and here, here, here. I mean, because there's so many things that failed them. So many things failed them back to back to back to back, even to right now, real time. Because anybody who just, you know, and defends an institution over people's lives, over human life, I don't need to say anymore, you know, like you're in the wrong place. And this is the problem. This is part of the problem. An institution does not come before my family's lives. So, oh, it was me, Harley. It's just me reading it because it was published on the infamous Reddit email was published on Reddit. But it's basically everything that Melanie Gibb has said. Okay. So that's why I think it came from Melanie Gibb and David Warwick together because they're in cahoots with everything else. They got married on the day that that Alex died. Y'all know in the interview, and I say interview because it's not, it's definitely not interrogation at all. And I'm just being a little vulgar here, but I've had period cramps more painful than their what did I just say? Their interviews or whatever. I'm just like, really? This is what we do now? You know, bad cop, good cop. Come on, play it. To putting in the work, right? Thank you, Haunted. Thank you for being here. Y'all help me. This is what y'all do. Y'all help give me a voice, which helps give them a voice. That's what we're doing. And I appreciate that. I do. I know I'm hard to make sense of. It's hard to make sense of. It's a lot of work, but you do it. I do it for them. I do it for the truth to come out. It's not going to be pretty. I know that. But it's a lot of things that failed them, you know? Thank you, Haunted. Oh, I just want to breathe. I know that whenever I hit it, whenever I get to the end of wherever I'm going, wherever this goes, I have no idea. I just want to have that feeling of, okay, I'm done. You know? It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to have to deal with. And the trials haven't even started yet. And so there's going to be that aspect and all that stuff to deal with emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, all these things, you know, just to get justice through understanding, like KJ says. But anyways, trying not to get too far off topic, but that's like, anyway, so I'm gonna go back to the 144,000. Like, it's not to be the only people left. And I mean, this is looking through the lens of what I've researching this entire brood around Chad and Lori. I feel like a spiritual like a undercover investigator, I swear. I don't know. It's been pretty difficult to do and difficult research. That's the name of this channel. That's why we're here. And so the 144,000, as far as I've researched into these people and all the people around Chad and Lori haven't told me, but we know what Lori has said in the court filings from my uncle's attorney, Charles's attorney. My uncle basically spoke from the grave because all that stuff came out. And, you know, after he was murdered and all this, and he was like, if anything happens to me, it was Lori and her brother, Alex. And he just didn't know enough about Chad at that time because she was being a trifling, you know, fill in the blank. It just really sucks. Yeah, Harley, see, I know. That's just it. That's why I love this community, because it's by talking about it, it brings up so many things, and you're like, oh yeah. But yeah, Melanie Gibbs' interview with the with the Rexburg Police Department. It was in Arizona, but they came down and they interviewed her, Melanie Gibb, and she was like, I don't follow me. And you're just like, the hell you don't. That's the only person you do follow, woman, because you definitely, there's no moral compass. They don't follow that for sure. That's gone. No, Carla, Cassidy, you have no idea. There's so much. Yeah, but they got married on the day that Alex, or it was a year later. It was a year later, I think. Yeah, yeah, because the interview was in 2021. This was Alex died the day before Tammy got exhumed, which was December 12th, 2019. Tammy got exhumed December 11th, 2019. I feel like from what I've been reading and rereading, I do have the FOIA docs also. I go through them. That's her niche. That's Annie's niche. She's good at it. But I've read all through the docs, but it's still just, I always go back. And I compare, and it brings up so many new things, more questions, gives me answers. I'm like, okay, that's where that came from. That's where it just helps me pinpoint things. And so, and well, nah, this is irrelevant. But yeah, my mind can go in so many different places because there are so many things. And I'm like, because you guys are great at bringing up things like this. So it's nice. Harley 62. And that makes it even more culty, right? Like, but Melanie Gibbs says it in that interview with the Rexburg Police Department. She's like, I don't follow me. And then she's like, somebody told me that people are saying, and we were, I did, I said it. It's a 2-0. That's funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to have you here. Yeah. So Melanie says, I don't follow me. And people are telling her that Alex, that people are saying that 12 times 12 is 144, like the 144,000. And I had never put that together, she says. And I'm thinking, shocker. Just like when she says that she's not a manipulative person. And I'm thinking, oh my God, girl. You're just not as manipulative, maybe. Maybe that's more fair. I don't know. That's how I see it. Or you just haven't gotten there yet, Narcissism is real. It is real. I'm going to hide that so I can think. But anyways, so the 144,000, from what I understand, this group is to gather the 144,000 who will not taste death. They are resurrected beings. This is through their explanation, okay? And so that's what this is. That's what I see this is. Nobody can convince me otherwise unless you have some strong, and better come on, because there's a lot. If Millie's mouth is open, she's, is a lion. Omission is just as bad. And I'm going to say it twice. Omission is just as bad, if not worse, than saying anything at all. Just, oh my God, to me, that is just the biggest slap in the face. Or the denial. Denying is another slap in the face, because you're like, wait, what? So from what you know, from your experience in your religion and your religious beliefs from wherever you are, that's all you can speak to. That's all I can speak to, is from what I've researched, right? So, yeah, I know they did not. Who are they fooling? God, teenagers, come on. That's the weird thing. They slept in other bedrooms. And so I went over JJ's nanny, the care.com. She made a report. And when I read it the first time, I was like, oh my God. It just, it's like I got into the story. Like her report just brought me there, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine what it's like for the victims. That's where I go. And for Melanie Gibb, like I go there. I go there by reading her report, and I'm like, bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Bullshit. You know, and I can't wait to tell her to her face. Can't wait. We'll need some bond money. Anybody here a bailiff? I mean, a bondsman? Gonna need some. Maybe. But it's bull. For her and David to say that they slept in separate rooms or whatever she wants to try and believe, because the truth, you know, will set her free. Even if they did sleep in separate bedrooms, even if Melanie Gibb and David Warwick slept in opposite or separate bedrooms, that would put Lori in her bedroom, allegedly. That would put Melanie Gibb in, I forget which one she said. I think she said she slept in Tylee's room. I think I'd have to go back and revisit the preliminary hearing. And David, this is another thing. This is another freaking thing. Okay. It don't make sense. It doesn't make any damn sense. That's what. If David Warwick, that from Melanie Gibbs' mouth, she's saying that David, you know, he was just grossed out by these people. You know, he just wasn't buying it. And he talked sense into her. And then that's why she recorded the phone call. That's why she recorded the phone call with Lori and hey, hello, sweet Melanie. That one, you know, the secret or not secret, the recording that came out during the preliminary hearing of Melanie Gibb. That's where Core Horror came out. Okay. Laura Horror developed right. That was where Laura Horror was born. Okay. And so she's sitting here telling the judge, the courtroom, my parents are in that courtroom. She's telling the world, all right, girl, yes, just speed dial maybe, because I won't. I have to learn some numbers. But anyways, they're Melanie Gibb and David Warwick are telling this to the world, basically. To me, they're flipping me off with both hands. They're just flipping me off and kicking me in the teeth because I don't believe them. As far as I can throw them, I don't believe them. They're not exactly the most noble people. There's no integrity. There's not a shred. There's no conscience there. Gone. Never existed. Poof. Missed them. There's 144,000. You know? Anyways, and she's sitting there saying on the stand, you know, she's like, yeah, we slept in separate bedrooms. And I'll have to revisit. But so you're telling me David wakes up from a bad dream and he don't believe in Chad and Lori or what they're spitting. He runs in this. He's been speaking longer than Chad. Okay. A long time before Chad. No, I don't even know what I did. Who knows? I'm telling you, just they come out. I'm trying to hold them back. But so there's all that. I forgot what I was saying. Shit. I suck at this. Okay, so she's in the courtroom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So David has this horrible dream. So horrible that she, from the other room, sleeping, wink, wink, Melanie must have sensed that David Warwick had a bad dream. Okay, so she probably ran in there to his aid. And then she's like, hold on, my friend's prayers don't work. I don't believe in them. 100%, I don't believe in them. But I'm going to go knock on her door because she can give you a blessing. But Melanie Gibb is saying the whole time, everywhere, that she didn't believe in it. She didn't have any gifts. She just prayed to Jesus. She just prayed to Jesus and all this stuff. And I'm just like, that's the story. That's a lie. Everything she says is lying. So you gotta lie. You like, yeah, I watch what she does. I listen to what she does say because they tell on themselves while they're lying. It's crazy. It's crazy. I pick it up. Oh, I pick it up. There's just a lot. And I know you guys do too. That's why you're here. That's why we do what we do, right? Because we're just like, bullshit. That's not how that happened. Would you like to try again and tell us the truth this time? I just feel like we're never going to get it. Not from these people. And I mean, that's threatening prosecution. That's prosecution threatening charges, maybe even, and good God, what do you have to do to get people to just do the right thing, which is to tell the truth? Yeah, it's weird. It's mucked up bad. No, that sucks. It really does suck because it poo-poos all over Tylee and JJ, Charles, Tammy, and Joe. They couldn't. Detective's daughter at all. Anyways, and it shall set them free one day. That's for them. That they got to figure out their own salvation in this. It's not my job. They're grown ass people. They're around other children. That's scary all in of itself. That terrifying. I'm just like, what? Hide your wife, hide your husbands, hide your kids. Okay? Because these are some red rum people. My opinion. Anyways, let me continue. So you're telling me David had this bad dream. You weren't sleeping in the same room with him, but he had a bad dream. And so I guess you have ESP. Phoebe has ESP. And so she knows to go in there, and she's like, his heart was beating. I'm like, that's a plus. There, you're already on the winning side of this. My family members' hearts are not beating. There you go. So his heart was beating and all this bullshit, and you're just like, okay. And she goes into all these big elaborate details of the trauma, I guess it was for her to have, because David had a bad dream. That's what he does. He's a damn visionary. Okay. David Warwick is a visionary. He's been speaking at these conferences far longer than Chad. He just hasn't written a book, or if he has, I have not found it yet. I always look, but I do have his talk, his 4 hours. He sounds like a damn cyborg. Okay. High five, kudos. Y'all all deserve a Peace Prize to whomever sat through that whole 4 hour, not even a full talk of David Warwick's. It's mind numbing. It's mind numbing. High five. Thank you. You do it for the victims. I appreciate that. So she goes and she knocks on Lori's door, and Lori's door's locked, but she doesn't believe in. She's like, but Lori is a woman and they don't have the priesthood. Unless you're me and you don't buy that. And you're like, Lori thinks she has the priesthood. How would she think that? Was she told that? Sounds logical. Call me dumb, but I think that sounds logical. Everything that Lori has said, Queen of the 144,000. She's exalted. She cannot taste death. And she doesn't, I don't know about the eating and the pooing and stuff. I don't know. I've not seen anything for that. But I have seen things for everything else. And that's bullshit. So somebody told this to her. She believes it because she is a believing disciple. She is a member of her. That's where she came from. Those are her roots. I don't come at me, place the anger and the blame on the people who exploited this. That is Chad and Lori Daybell. I don't know their address. It's not my job. Just saying. Put the blame where it goes to the people it goes to, not the victims, not the victim's family member who's just trying to understand, not on each other. Really do some research, really think about this from a perspective of dead children. I don't know what he's doing in there, but Jason's in there, just I hear something being moved and I hear him straining and grunting, and I'm like, if I'd be in there right now, I would be like, you don't need to be doing that, because he just had 2 strokes, right? But here we are. Anyways, so yeah, I don't buy it. Melanie Gibb. Oh no, yeah, it's like, well, good. That means the microphone is really good. Oh, but that just goes back to Melanie Gibb, in my opinion, lying on the stand. In my opinion, lying for the Lord. In my opinion, her Lord. Okay, take it for what you will. That's how I see it. If you do have nasty comments, be sure to put a pound, or no, put a question mark in front of it. That way I'll know not to look at it, because I just don't have the time for that anymore. I just don't. Sorry. We've already been through that. I've been through all that already. And it's like, it's time to get down to business, and just sharing it for what it is. Because it is what it is. I don't care how you paint it, how you deny it. I don't care. It comes from their faith, Chad and Lori's faith, their core beliefs. Call me silly. I don't know. It comes from Melanie Gibb. It comes from David Warwick. Are they? Where did they go to church? Oh, do they still have their temple recommends? Oh, right. Nobody can definitively answer these things, and they're not going to, obviously. So, anyways, I mean, if people are okay with sitting next to them in the church or the temple, good for you, because I don't want them nowhere around me or my children. I don't want them praying for me or my children or anybody I love, for that matter. I don't want them anywhere around me. I'm good. When they pray, people in my family die. So I'm good. But let me just cut to this. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to go to the interview. I'm sorry, the recorded phone call. Okay. So this is where Chad comes in, and hold on, let me get back over here. Let me hide myself. Okay. So I just want to make sure y'all can hear. I think y'all can. I tested this before I went live. Okay.
I just want to testify that I know Tammy and the conspiracy theories. My sister-in-law's right behind it all, and I hope that you're not being influenced by that dark team.
I don't know who she is. I'm sorry, you said your sister-in-law? I don't even know her.
Oh, I know, but she's coming up with the same.
Do you hear that? That's what I'm telling you about. Nobody, Melanie Gibb for sure, she didn't even say, she just said, oh, hi, Chad, in the beginning, because he answered the phone. And he said, hello, sweet Melanie. Gross. Anyways, but she had to secure and distance herself from Chad and Lori, in my opinion. That's just me. And for Chad to voluntarily just come right out with his theory of how his wife of 29 years, 5 children, 3 grandchildren later at that time, this is, in my opinion, this is how Chad is going to continue to push his story. This is Chad's, whatever you call it. Oh my God, I just went blank. This is his Story. I don't know. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know all the terms. I don't. I'm just here. But this is his alibi, his story. This is what he's pushing. This is what he's selling. He wants you to buy it. Okay. He wants those those jurors to be. That's what John Pryor is going to do. That's why I think Emma and Chad Daybell's other kids came out with that whole narrative of my dad was deceived. He was set up. But oh my God. I mean, good though. Very smart. But we're just the public. We're not the jurors. However, jurors can see this, but they can still testify if they are, I'm sorry, not testify. They can still be a juror and listen to the case if they can be fair, right? So I pray to God that we have the most fair jurors on this planet, because we need somebody with some truth, somebody with a moral compass, somebody with integrity, and somebody who's down for justice. Okay? We need some people like that. We need 12 good jurors? I don't really know the tech. I know there can be 16 sometimes. I don't know all that stuff. I'm not a lawyer. But I just pray that's what we get. I pray that's what gives justice to Tylee and JJ and Tammy. Then we have to go to Arizona after this. So then there's that. And that's it. Oh my God, I've been researching the state and just cases and things that have happened in Maricopa County. And oh my God, it's pretty bad. I'm really leery of that. Really bad. It just people influence beliefs, influence. Everybody influences somebody. Somebody is in somebody's pocket and they're all playing pocket pool. I know I'm derogatory, but that's just me. I'm just real. But anyways, let's continue. Let me quit going on my rants. But just for Chad to just come right out of nowhere. Nobody asked him. Nobody said, "Hey, Chad, how did your wife die?" And he's volunteering it. That's what Chad does. Chad, he tries to be a good boy. Him's a good boy, He can't be tarnished, And there are people that believe this guy is good. And I'm not one of them. But yeah.
I don't even know her.
Oh, I know, but she's coming up with the same type of theories. And it's just not true. My own children were there. They testified that Tammy had been getting weaker and sick, and I begged her to go to the doctor. Her heart was failing her. She was physically falling apart, and she hates doctors, and she just passed away.
Okay, so I was watching this so I could do this here, right? And I noticed, and I hate to say it, but I noticed Ron Ball's face. Y'all, I'll point it out, but just kind of keep an eye, because Chad don't do nothing. He swallows hard twice, like a big gulp. But when he says Lori's name, and then when he says that Tammy comes and visits his kids, he big gulps. That's about all you see out of Toad.
That's how it happened. My son Garth was right there with me the whole time. My kids were at the house within 20 minutes of her passing. There were 2 coroners. They checked her out right there on the bed.
Right there. Did y'all see it? Oh, let's see. Watch Ron Ball back here. That I was like, whoa! I never caught that before. But.
Of her passing, there were 2 coroners. They checked her out right there on the bed. All these.
He's like, what? 2 coroners? I mean, just Chad's a liar, in my opinion.
There were 2 coroners. They checked her out right there on the bed. All these conspiracy theories just make me sick to my stomach. Just absolutely sick. I know it's been told for years that Tammy would pass away at a young age.
He knows that because he's the one that told himself that. Okay? Because he's been, in my opinion, he'd been basically hanging his flag out like, okay, he's a visionary, all right. He's gonna make it happen. He's a visionary. Oh my God. I'm just saying. He was just letting out his desire to murder his wife or to not have her here anymore so he could be a freaking gigolo, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
I had no idea that Lori would even be a part of my life. I just knew that my life.
He gulped right there, you know, like he just follows real hard. Melanie Pulowski does it too.
I had no idea that Lori would even be a part of my life. I just knew that my life had two segments.
Mm-hmm.
And that I know Tammy's on a special mission and she's with my kids. She's visited them. Just
big gulp.
There's so much, Melanie, that
and that right there, he knows she's on a special mission, da-da-da-da-da. He put her there. He put her there. You can't, I don't know. It's going to take a lot of convincing if he did not put her there. Because he didn't actually, I don't know. To me, he cannot, I don't see any way out of this for him. You know, with the kids, he can say that Alex did all the stuff, and his kids, Chad's kids, can say he was set up, he was deceived in the worst possible way by their stepmother, who baked cookies for them, who they met in California after they ran from the police, after the welfare check. They met them in California, and they went to Knott's Berry Farm. Okay? That's what Chad did. He gave him a little vacation. They weren't dodging Lori then, you know. Now she's just the word. She's a Jezebel because and there's no possible way that their patriarch dad here could hurt their mom. Yet Tammy was already buried. Tammy was buried. Nobody would have known that foul play even went into this. That to me is just like, whoa, that's a big failure for Tammy. She slipped through the cracks also. And there should have been an autopsy done. And if not, can we fix that over there in Idaho? You know? That these are things that they're red flags, you know, and they just need to be pointed out and dealt with. That way it don't happen to you and to anybody in your family, you know. But anyways,
there's so much, Melanie, that you just have to have faith, and this is not some sort of master plan. There's no way Lori and I should have ever come up.
That too. There's nothing funny about it. He's like, me and Lori are not capable of doing any of this, but I just upped my wife's life insurance. You know, I think the last day that Tyler was seen alive, which was September 8th, 2019 in Yellowstone National Park, he was upping his wife's life insurance policy, maxing them out. Then she got shot at on October the 9th by who I think is Alex Cox. So that didn't work. She was supposed to die. For years, he had been told she was supposed to die. It's because he was telling himself that. That's how I think. And so it's been said, you know, that Lori's the match and he's the gas, whatever, however you want to interchange those terms. One's action and one's the prophet, you know, or whatever. One's the visionary. He's not a prophet. He's a selfish jerk, you know. Greed. It'll get you every time.
Master plan. There's no way Lori and I should have ever come up with this. It's just
that reminded me of whenever Janice was like, you know, Lori told me Charles is accusing me of being in an affair with and then she laughs. She's like, with Chad Daybell, you know, and I'm just like, that's so freaking hilarious. So hilarious. And it's so true. So how do you feel now? And then so on Sins of Our Mother, Janice comes out and she's like, it's that Chad Daybell. It's all his fault. You know, it's his fault and it's her fault. You know, just saying, it's nobody else's but the people who are accountable.
You can understand my concern, correct?
I can from an outside perspective, but from
someone who knows as much as you know, no.
That right there, I'm sorry. That to me speaks volumes, because someone as much as she knows, and we'll never know what Melanie knows because she's too busy trying to distance herself from this. And I think her and David, I don't know their roles, but I think that they're way more involved than they want to be. Yeah. I can't wait till this part of the trial, you know, because I want to know. Because I have my gut instincts, my gut intuition, the lies, the inconsistencies in the stories and the testimonies and what they've said, it's not matching up. And I want to know what the hell they did. I want to know their parts in this, not just Chad and Lori. I want all the people who have blood on their hands to be held accountable, as they should. That's just me.
Not really. But we can feel Dave's influence on you. I can feel that for sure.
He's a very good man, and he has a very strong foundation.
And Melanie Gibb is not anybody to, in my opinion, she's not anybody to be reliant upon as far as judging character. Okay. No.
That I know.
I know, but he seems to be the one that's putting the doubts in your mind.
No, you know what? I have come to understand that my gut feeling, I was not listening to it. And I always felt uncomfortable with many things.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry that I included you in those teachings then for your own sake, because
And in my opinion, those teachings were not theirs, not their own. The only thing that they really strayed away from was just the name zombie, like dubbing, you know, a demonic possession. You're a zombie. Okay. It's just another word, another term for possession. That's how I see it. And if y'all watch some of the videos I came out with about the second anointing, I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm hot on that trail. So there's so much. I wish I could just say it for what it is. But, you know, people don't take kindly to that.
I wish that you didn't have as much knowledge as you have, because you will be accountable for the knowledge that you do have, Mom.
So are you.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I have no fear.
Yeah.
I have no fear of that.
But I really, you know, I was reading the story of Chloroform, and it is so very similar to this. You just can't see it. But he did it because he was trying to reclaim a people. And
all right. So, yeah, I was trying to look something up just real quick. Hold on just 1 second. Because I want y'all to hear this also. And it's just a little 2-minute, 9-second clip of Chad Daybell reading his book, The Aaronic Priesthood. Let me come here. Okay. The Aaronic Priesthood, 7 principles, something. Anyways, and he reads it himself. And so I love to hear them speak in their words. And I like to just play the hell out of it because they're liars. Just hold your pearls.
Scout camp out when I was younger. Our scoutmaster asked us to make a tinfoil dinner for ourselves to cook in the campfire. My mom reminded me to make the dinner, and then she ran an errand before I left for the campout. Our troop had eaten tinfoil dinners on the previous campout, and I decided I'd had enough of potatoes, carrots, and hamburger. So while Mom was gone, I looked in the freezer and spotted what I thought would be a great tinfoil dinner, a frozen pizza. I got out the tinfoil and wrapped that frozen pizza up nice. Then I stuck it in my backpack just before Mom arrived home. I kissed her goodbye and headed out on the campout. That night, my pizza was a big hit. Even my scoutmaster was amazed at my meal. Yes, it did burn a little on the edges, but it really was pretty good. I even chiseled off a few pieces for the other scouts. However, I had a nagging feeling that this wasn't quite the meal Mom expected me to make. When I returned home the next day, she asked, "Chad, do you know what happened to the frozen pizza that was in the freezer? We were going to have it for dinner tonight, and now it's gone." It was a time of decision for me. I'd been gone for a whole day. Certainly one of my younger brothers could shoulder the blame. But, somewhat embarrassed, I explained what I had done. Mom laughed, but she wasn't as impressed with my pizza dinner as my fellow scouts had been. However, she thanked me for telling the truth. In that incident, I can't claim to have displayed complete integrity. I did admit to Mom what I had done, though. The point is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth.
What?
That is integrity. Telling the truth and not...
In Chad Daybell's words, he's telling us what the hell integrity is. Okay? I'm just saying. Oh, you can't make this up.
I did admit to Mom what I had done, though. The point is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity. Telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences. The Lord expects us to do so. Integrity is an especially important quality to have when you're in a position of leadership.
He said especially. Just saying. I know I mess words up all the time, so I can call them out. Yes. Just saying. I don't speak any better, but I don't like him.
What are the consequences? The Lord expects us to do so. Integrity is an especially important quality to have when you're in a position of leadership, such as in a quorum presidency. When I was serving as the president of our deacon's quorum, a young man named Mike had graduated from primary and was joining our quorum. Mike's family had been through some rough times, but lately he had started coming to church, and everyone in the ward was happy to see Mike progressing in the gospel.
It don't finish the story.
Scout camp out when I...
Yeah, there it is. There's that, you know. I'm just like, okay, integrity is doing the right thing. It's like even when no one is looking, you just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is gauging you. You just know it's the right thing to do. So first off, you don't get into these situations. You try not to. You really try not to hang around people who... What? I have like something on my computer screen. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there scratching at it. Anyways, right. Jean Panic says, play this recording as an aggravating factor. Chad's right. It's the research. It's there for the finding. It's there. I've got oodles of it. It would make no sense for me to just, sit here and play it. You have to like get the context of it to know what the hell they're talking about, to even differentiate their beliefs from the church that they belong to. That's where, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I'm not one of those people that need to be right or wrong. It's not about right. It's not about that. I don't want to be proved right. It doesn't matter. I don't care about that. That's not my desire. My desire is for their stories to come out, for the truth to come out. That's all. That's all. It's itty bitty, but it takes a whole lot, just to get there. A lot of people have blinders on. A lot of people don't have the same experience. A lot of people can't see this happening this way, or, coming from someplace that they treasure and that's sacred to them. Doesn't mean it's sacred to Chad and Lori, but I get it. That's where I'm like, these aren't normal people. And so it just doesn't line up. But there's a podcast that Chad did called Patience that he did 2 days before my uncle was murdered. So July 9th, this is when Melanie Gibb was spending the night at Lori's house. The next morning, she said Lori woke her, or when she woke up, Lori was like, "You gotta go." And Melanie Gibb was like, "Why, Mom?" No, I'm joking. Haha. Anyways, because Alex had to come and be a protector for Lori, for Charles to go pick JJ up for school. Because they're planned, you know? Anyways, but then you hear Melanie Gibb gabbing her ass off with what's her face? Sherry Dowdle. Sherry Dowdle. I'm gonna say Dowdle. Somebody she don't even know. She's just, in my opinion, Melanie Gibb is just sharpening up her testimony, her story. She's getting it airtight. So it's believable, right? Because it's weird how the truth is here. It's always here. There's his side, her side, and then there's the truth. That's what my mama has always told me my whole life. His side, her side, or their side, and the truth. Yours, theirs, and the truth. Mine's not going to be all the way truthful. Yours isn't going to be all the way truthful, but the truth is always going to stand right there. You know, it's there. It's crazy. So Patience is the name of that podcast. And the guy he did that with, he took it down, but not before I recorded it, right? So it's still down. And that sucks. That's another factor with this case, with these people around Chad and Lori Daybell. They piss me off. They lack integrity. They lack compassion. They lack so many things that make people normal. And I air quoting big time over here, okay? Normal. Decent. Kind, loving, like Zalima says. They're law-abiding, you know. No, they're not. You're not. No. Y'all are horrible people. Oh. Anyways. And I don't want them to get away with anything. I want them to be held accountable. Zalima, Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, Melanie Pulowski, Ian. You know, I don't know. Don't know what they know. But I know what I know. I know what I see, and I know it's bullshit. I don't buy it. Not for any amount of dollars. I don't buy it. I'm not picking it up. And yes, they lack. Yes, they do. They lack it. And it's not like something you just obtain. You know, you just. I don't know. I just was born with it, and sometimes my judgments, my decisions, you know, aren't all the way accurate. But I really do pride myself with trying to be as balanced as I can, trying to see all sides of it so that I can really follow this through, really see this through, really allow and help bring the voices of the victims out. That's my job. That's something I made an oath to my uncle and Tylee and JJ, and even to Joe and Tammy. They deserve it. It was stolen, robbed, and I feel like we're the only advocates they have, because I don't see it as much from that side. It's very quiet, and it always has been. And you know what? In that sense, and I don't mean this to sound insensitive or anything, it just is what it is. I'm just saying what it is. You know, Tammy's family and stuff, my heart, they've said nothing but the kindest words towards my family. And I appreciate that. But we weren't afforded that luxury. You know, like shit was popping off. Shit was happening. People were disappearing. My family was disappearing. My family was being murdered. And we didn't have the luxury of just, you know, being quiet. Just keeping it all here, you know? That's the way I chose to grieve, is this way. It's just more in the public, you know, just to anybody that'll listen. And I appreciate y'all for that. Y'all are the most helpful bunch of healing, a sense of healing for me, just to be able to talk about it and hear your theories, hear your perspectives, hear your jokes. I love your jokes. I saw a little branch just now. I'm thinking jokes. I told Kathy last night, I said, I don't know if I want to meet Little Brands. I'd love to meet her. I'm like, she cracks me up. Y'all crack me up. So many of y'all. But I'm just like, I don't know if I could meet her because I would die of laughter. That would suck. But she just cracks me up. Yeah, and Charles helped the family so much. I don't see how they can not help and speak truth. I don't. Yeah, they definitely weren't born with it. It's a learned behavior. That's how I see it. I'm not a psychologist. I don't work in that department. This is just my 2 cents. This is from my experience. No, this is exactly what I see it as. And I see, oh God, I guess to learn. When I saw Lori go into the courtroom on the, thank you so much, MK. That's all I desire to do. That's my job here. That's what I vowed to do. Is just to make those that are hold those. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess it up. Those that are accountable. I mean, oh my God, y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? People with blood on their hands, hold them accountable for their part in this, and just to make it, that's how you find the things that failed them. I don't see any other way. It's to analyze it. Pinpoint all the things. And then I can't wait till the trials are over and this, I guess, the emotional toll that's going to take. I try not to even think about it because there's no way to prepare yourself for that. There's no way. It's like preparing when you're getting in a car accident and like you see somebody about to rear end you and you brace, you tense up and you end up hurting. They say you end up hurting yourself more by bracing for impact, right? So I try not to even future trip about that too much because it's just going to be what it is. Like, it is what it is. I have no way of controlling that. But I do have control of what I take in, what I allow myself to know and see and hear. And that's the only control I have in this. Yeah. Carrie Ann, you're right. You got that, boo. Oh, crap. And Kathy both clicked it. I'm sorry, Kathy. But that's true. Keeping it bottled up is the worst thing to do. And then how can we learn? Like, this is the way I learn. This is the way I learned how to see things from different perspectives, different lenses that I didn't even know existed before, and then we all remember certain things from certain things that in these cases, and they're important. And it keeps me evolving and growing and learning. But hopefully, we'll get his research if you never actually use it. One day we'll be able to use it, and I cannot wait till the trials are over and I can begin advocacy work, and help other people just through my experience and in the names of Charles, Tylee, JJ, Tammy, and Joe. And actually, I know she's not going to like what I'm about to say, but she'll get over it. Jen had sent me, let me go to it. I like to read it verbatim because I will mess it up. Y'all know I will. Okay, there it is. I'm going to scroll. But I mean, this just means so much to me. There it is. Come on. So she had sent me a text on Saturday, December 10th at 5:27 p.m. And then under the picture she sent me, she said, I couldn't wait. She said, I figured, this is from Jen, the L Mom, also known as True Crime Unveiled. She said, I figured you would need one for your nonprofit and one for your business. Merry Christmas. Love always wins. And I looked at it, and it's a screen. You know, she took a picture of her computer screen, and it just means so much to me because she believes in me, you know, like it's validating in so many ways. And I can't thank people like her, like you, like everybody that's rallied around me in this, and my family and my loved ones. I can't thank y'all enough. I mean, y'all just mean so much to me. But she paid for the domain names for difficultresearch.com and lovealwayswinsfoundation.org. I mean, I was just like, oh crap, I got work to do now. And but I'm just like, wow, that was so nice and kind and thoughtful and generous. And it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel so appreciative and blessed in that sense. Because this is what matters right now. Everybody that's here, this moment, this is what matters. And you're choosing to spend it here with me. Week after week, live stream after live stream. We're lockstep in this together. Thank you, Tina. I mean, it means so much to me. And I know it means so much to my mom and my dad. They've said it so many times, you know. I wish there was a way to show you guys. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm trying. You know, it's like I want to reciprocate, but this is it. This is the community. This is God's army. This is from tragedy. This is you are the positive. Thank you. Time is, it's all, you can never get time back, ever. That to me is like, oh, and I hate that I'm late and things like that. Cause it's like, not that I don't respect other people's time. I set myself up for failure. It's just something I've always done. I hate that about myself. If I could change one thing, that would be it. I would, you know, well, one of the many things, right? She is sweet. It's very kind. And, you know, I'm just like, God dang it. But so grateful, so thankful. And there's a lot of work to do. And I can't wait to get to that part of it, because that's where the legacies of Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, and Joe will really shine. Because from their tragedies, their stories will come positive, will come voice, will come a platform, somewhere for people to go if and when this happens to them. This unfortunate, tragic, I never want it to happen to anybody else, but turn on the news. It's there. It's not going away. Yeah. I just want them to be able to talk and to be able to find their loved ones, or find answers, or find the culprits, you know, just let's figure this out. I don't know. Don't really have, I'm not a visionary. And it's hard to work on that kind of stuff. I think about it, but I just physically cannot spread myself anything more than I've been over the past 4 years. I can't fit it in right now. I have ideas, and that's about all I can do. Thank you so much, Gary. Oh, that's sweet. You help me in so many ways. You may not realize it, but you're helping me with my grief process with my mother. I myself appreciate for being it's so sweet. Oh man. I'm so glad. I remember that, Samantha. I do. I remember this. I remember you saying last week. Yeah. Thank you. That's all I want to do. That's all that matters. That and just again, just trying to pull their stories up. Let them talk. They're going to talk. I mean, they can't talk, but their stories, the truth will, it will. It's just taking a a lot of, work, a lot of work, but they're worth it. They're worth every painful, mind numbing, all these things that I never wanted to know that I now have crammed in my already ADHD brain. And then trauma on top of that. It's not easy. And then talking in public. Like, it's just, I can say some of the most off things, That's just me. I don't mean to. It's just like, oh God, you could have said any other word but that. But I'm human, and I can only really tell you from my perspective. I don't know what it's like to be anybody else. Never been. I've never been anybody else. Have you? Oh God, an offset spatula. Never heard of that. But that sounds funny. Does that exist though? I have to ask. Oh yeah. And so that's a good point, Samantha. She says, Carrie Ann, seeing you with lots, probably sending you, or I don't know, sending you lots of love and hugs. My mom passed away on 4th of July. My heart is broken. You are not alone. You're not alone. We are not alone. We're in this together. Okay. That's what we're doing. We are learning. We're getting justice through understanding. We are truth seekers to the best of our abilities as humans. Thank you. Your blessing. Love you too. I love you too. Love always wins, right? It does. And you guys are proof of that. Every time. Y'all overwhelmed. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and so next Sunday is Christmas Day. And I know I didn't even like holidays. I'm not really one for holidays. Not me and my strange. Oh my gosh. Me and my son were estranged for 6 years. I know what the parental alienation thing feels like. It really sucks. So ever since he and I were estranged, I lost the holiday spirit thing. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. And I never cared to be around. I just didn't care to be around my family. Now, all this has made me realize that I do love my family. I know, right? It makes me treasure them. It makes me it put things into perspective for me. I don't want this to happen to anybody else, though. Just take it from me, I don't want tragedy in your life make you realize that you appreciate the people that are in your family members, and it just puts things in totally different perspectives. And I realized that I valued them, yeah, things like that. Like my sister's a narcissist, yeah, all that. Put all the sympathy cards and Bibles in the exactly. And it doesn't have to be a nightmare. We can find the silver linings in that nightmare. Oh yeah, that reminds me of another text I got. And I forget her screen name on here, so I don't want to say it. What her name is in here. She'll know who she is. And so this was Tuesday, 11:07 a.m. She said, "Good morning, Krisha. Hot off the press from my friend." I don't know where MI is. I used to know all this stuff. That's what I'm saying. I have all this other information, and it just makes all the stuff I did know. I'm like, what's MI? What state is that? I don't know if is it Michigan? I don't want to say the wrong thing. But anyways, to me, Krisha, somebody sent this to her, and she said, "Krisha, this is a picture. I'm sorry, Krisha, this picture is what you are." Oh my God. "This picture is what you are to those of us close to the Daybell case. You can get no closer than an aunt to her firstborn, in a good way. I've got a list of things to take back from those wenches. I'll say winches. Niece or nephew. I understand. So you have apparently chosen to dive deep into the dark, cold waters for both the victims and us, whose job it is to pick up the pieces and go on, by the way. And to go on. By the way, you are that person who's been called upon to first find those pieces in the abyss. You dive, you discover, and then you share with us, your loved ones, your friends, your village, community, army. And you're ascending to the surface. You also find precious pockets of warm air, treasures of silver linings that wouldn't have become reality except for the horrors that group performed. And she said, Kresha, every video you do, you combine your natural talents of music and choreography and imaging and combine with your newly acquired ones, like no matter how hard, search for truth and share it. And remain humble. Keep your funny on and do all in love. Hun, you make us ice flowers every time we're together. Carry on, you brave and dear one. And most of all, thank you. And then, yeah, they commended, Jason for just doing his part. He's my rock. And without him, without his support, his emotional, I lean on him so much. And then I value everybody around. I love my family. You are my family by extension. It's like this, we choose to be together. So big difference. And so this was so sweet. It was very sweet. And thank you. And that's just, it's validating. It's so validating because I'm like, okay, people do see it. Not that, but it's like what I am saying, what I do bring. I know it's not I have not figured out how to put it into a pretty little box. It don't exist yet. As soon as I do, I will bring it to you. Trust me. But until then, it just keeps on being the ugly old truth. It is what it is. You can't sugarcoat it. You can, but then it's just really messy. So next week, we are going to go to my mom's. We're going to have Christmas with our kids and everything and family. And then me and Jason are going to come and we'll be here live. And we just want to share with, anybody who finds themselves here. You're welcome to come join us for that. And we'll celebrate Christmas. I don't really have it planned out. I got to look at the times and everything and schedule it. And it's just spend Christmas with one another. This is a community that we build that is beautiful. And I've always been one that just kind of don't really care for the holidays. They were usually a little painful, and I know that anybody in this community right here, right now, who has experienced loss, I don't care who it was, how you're related to them, if you're even related to them, that was something that, oh my God, that's something that I can't wait to make a difference in. Not to put limits on grief. It doesn't matter who. I didn't get. I've reached out to a mental. No, hold on. Not a mental hospital. No, close. No, I'm kidding. But I reached out to a grief group here in my town, and it took everything I had to even reach out, right? And I did. And this is before the kids were even found. No, they had been found. And they emailed me back. And just that right there, just me emailing and me reaching out, that's a huge thing. I don't normally ask for help. And they responded. I ran across that email. That don't normally happen either. And I read it, and then it didn't even sink in at the time. But I got to thinking about it, and I was like, wait. And I went back to it. And they were like, yeah, we heard it was a Lake area family. The the murders had happened in, or with. And, but we, you're an aunt, you're a niece, you're not a grandparent, a mother, a father, a sister, or brother. And I was like, So I didn't qualify. I did not qualify to go to their grief group. And they didn't send me in the right direction. I felt like, oh my God, rejection. And like, I didn't have a voice. Like I didn't count. What the hell is that? Who the hell are you? I see that now. But then I didn't even realize that they were, whatever. I mean, it could have been a little more graceful. I'm just saying, a little more helpful. Don't turn your back on anybody. Listen, put your ear out. That's the least you can do, is just listen to people. Listen to their hurt, their pain, because that's how we get out of it. That's how we get not out of it. You don't get around it. You get through it. And then you just continue to evolve. That's how I see it. Love is love. Exactly. Thank you, Lena. I don't even know. Denny Lenny or Denai Lenai. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, help and love has a cutoff. Right. That's just it. It doesn't. It's limitless. It always wins. At the end of the day, at the end of my life, it's all that's going to matter. Love. So that's something that my Uncle Charles said. Love always wins. And I mean, that's his saying. That's his quote. I painted it on that board right there. It's just a board, but my daughter's in front of it. But anyway, it says love always wins. Oh, if I could just, that's what I want to do. If I can, I really have to. See, I can't think. I couldn't be a public speaker because I'm like, I'm so awkward and nothing comes out the right way. But it's so much that goes into this. I'll get there, I hope so. I hope one day that I can help as many people as God puts in my way, and same. You guys help me. And that's what love is. Definition. Boom. One of the many, so I appreciate you for that. And again, I'll be here, me and my family, my kids and everything will be here live Sunday on Christmas Day, and we'll spend it with you for a little while. Hey, that's what we can do. And I'd love to see you guys. I don't like going a week with, oh my God, that'd be like 2 weeks without you. I can't. Too many things, but we can do that. And there's a story that my grandfather wrote. And I've only read it one time. And I mean, I couldn't hardly make it through it. I had the ugly cry face. I was like, but my Uncle Charles and my mom, they come from their family. Anyways, my grandpa or my grandparents on the Vallow side, there were actually 7 siblings in our family, and my mom and Charles's family. There were 7 kids, 7 Vallow kids. And my Aunt Nancy, she was the 6th. She was born after my mom, but before the baby, my Uncle Bobby. And she was 18 months old, and she died of pneumonia on Christmas Eve. And so I'm going to read the story, which is very personal, but I trust you guys. I want to share it. What good is the story if it's never told? So it helps give a lot of context to how Uncle Charles was raised, words from his dad. And so he shares the story of how he gave his daughter to God for Christmas. That was his, I don't know. It's his story. I'm just going to read it to the best of my ability and try to make it through it without crying or butchering it up too bad. So I just thought of that and I was like, yeah, I think I want to do that. So anyways, but thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you. I really want to thank Santa's helpers here for this computer, and you know who you are. This is awesome. I can't wait to learn how to use it so we can do some really cool stuff. And I can put it into a prettier box, so to speak. So thank you for being here. I love you guys, and love always wins. Merry Christmas.